Do you ever think, oh, I could have done that better, but you never create the thing or do the thing. You just say that you can do it better. Well, what if I tell you that I've fixed a 200-year-old problem in the funeral profession? Because I have. I'm Nathan. I'm a musician. I'm a mortician. I spent nearly 15 years in the funeral profession, and as a musician, I realized the value of music for the celebration. You cannot have a beautiful funeral without a beautiful song or songs. You cannot have a beautiful song without experiencing grief and sadness and heartache and loneliness. That is the beautiful connection with music and funerals. And not every funeral director cares enough about the music or is a musician, so they have a wonky music selection process. I fixed all of it. When you sit around with the family, that's when you create the experience, and it's been lacking until now. Stick around because by the end of this video, you are going to want to check out Funeral Music Planner. Let me give you a scenario. Family comes into the funeral home for arrangements for their loved one. That is how it works, people. And at some point throughout the arrangement process, the funeral director says, think of some songs that your loved one likes and pick 2 to 3 for the funeral. That's kind of how it is. And they're left to pick those songs out. And when they leave, you have too many people involved by that point, and everyone's Facebook messaging or texting or emailing or calling the funeral home with their music selections. And they're all talking over one another. The funeral director is going nuts. Oh, by the way, the day of the funeral, they change the songs, or they bring in a CD that's non-readable because who has a CD-ROM on their computer anymore? Well, probably a funeral director because they're very antiquated with their technology. Or what about a USB that isn't formatted properly for your PC, or you have a Mac and it's for a PC? Any scenario that can go wrong happens with selecting music. I fixed it. Insert Funeral Music Planner. This is the solution. Experiences matter. It's why people pay so much money to go to Disney. Yes, they may leave with Mickey Mouse, but they also leave with the thing. It's this feeling inside of them that you cannot touch, but you can absolutely acknowledge it exists, and that is the experience. And people keep coming back again and again. Funeral Music Planner does that. It creates the experience. It gives the funeral home, the funeral director, peace of mind, and it allows them to look like the hero. And on the family side, it creates the experience. It says, here, family, ABC Funeral Home cares so much about the music selection process. We've made it very simple, and we're allowing you to do it from the comfort of your home. There's also a ton of other features in there that allow you to lock the secure link and also have only one person in charge. It gives suggestions. Let me show you how it works. You can create your free case right now. If you have a family that's coming in for arrangements, you're able to do that. You simply click Start Your Free Case. We are now in the funeral home side of things. There are 2 different sides of this site, offstage and on stage. If you followed me for some time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, welcome. I'm Nathan. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We will be releasing content just like this. Music, funerals, there's so many beautiful things about it. Maybe you've experienced loss and you're navigating it. I see you. But if you're a funeral home owner, if you're a funeral director, watch closely. I understand you want to be more organized, but you feel this is just another thing to add. No, this is not. This is a tool to be placed in the tool belt. This isn't another tool belt to put on top of your already bulky tool belt. No. Couple of things I want to point out. You have a calendar view, you have a list view. I understand that you need to know what's going on before, during, and after a funeral service. No problem. We're going to click New Service. We'll just say that Nathan, he gone. You're going to fill in all of this information. Why is it important? You say, well, because obviously you need to know the service time, people. It's going to be at the chapel. Here's some internal notes. If you're a funeral director, notes matter, says the guy who didn't flip over the piece of paper. And one of the most important notes I had written for this loved one's mom, flip the page to celebrate their daughter. I messed up. Can't mess up here. Don't miss this because, oops, I can spell better, I promise. Because, well, can't. Visitation times, we don't necessarily know it yet. That's why it's optional, because this is simply creating the service. This is creating the case, the loved one who comes into the care of the funeral home. This is before the family has maybe scheduled the arrangements. Obviously, the service date could even be a temporary one or a placeholder. This creates the unique family link because the unique family link is what is going to be sent to the family. What? How do you do that, Nathan? Funny you ask. You simply click the view here. You would simply type in the email address of the informant, one individual who will be handling all of the music. That could be the aunt, the cousin, the granddaughter. They are the go-to. So you're not going to have so much noise, funeral director. It's not a bad thing because we all want to feel like we're helping. We all want to have a role whenever we're grieving because the funeral profession for a long time unintentionally took all of that away from. After Vietnam, and I've talked about this in previous videos, so many young men were dying. And at a certain point, the moms and dads were just like, just handle it because pain, grief, sadness was just too much. And over time, it just became less and less, the family being involved. And this is giving them the opportunity again to participate. The funeral profession, this gives them the opportunity to participate, the permission to participate. Send them the unique link. The cool thing about it, let me tell you, funeral directors, this link locks at 10 a.m. the day before the scheduled service. So there's going to be no more adding to or can I make this? It's very subtle. It lets the family know gently, and you don't have to keep calling them or texting them or emailing them or all three because you're getting it from every angle. They know because this platform is going to give them gentle reminders along the way. Okay, this is the family link. The family gets the link. The family clicks the link. Music and service planning for, insert loved one's name, Nathan Morris. Plan the music in order of service to honor their life. There are 3 steps throughout this process you will see right at the top. You don't have to finish this in one sitting. Everything saves automatically. Touch points. Funeral profession, do you see this? It's the experience. And all of it is personalized because when it comes time to print the order of service, your logo, your branding from you, the funeral director. You can set up your own account. All emails come from you. It's personalized. They get the experience from you, funeral home, funeral director. Where would you like to begin? I want to stop and say this, funeral director. When I was 12 years old, I was sitting in the McDonald's drive-thru. My mother had just ordered me a chocolate milkshake, and we were pulling up slowly. My mom's a exact change kind of person, and I remember her looking through her purse for the exact change, and her foot slightly pulled off of it, just enough to slowly roll, and we were inching closer and closer to the car in front of us. I saw it happening. I was so stressed. In that moment, I could not think of the word mom. And just when we were about to hit, I screamed out, Mom! Grief is more stressful than a McDonald's drive-thru. How can you expect someone to say, hey, I know we're here to celebrate Dad. What are their favorite songs? It's why they select the ones that everybody selects. It's this pressure that they just don't want to feel. It's hard to make a decision when you're stressed out. This helps totally alleviate that. Where would you like to begin? Choosing music can feel overwhelming. These options are here to help you get started. You can skip them if you already know what feels right. These are soft, subtle prompts. And the cool thing about it, funeral homes and funeral directors, over time, as the songs are searched, AI will begin to generate understanding of what people are selecting. If they're searching for something that's honky-tonk, there's not going to be a suggestion that says, hey, let's play some Avicii or some David Guetta. Do you understand what I'm saying there? It's constantly learning. Oh, not to mention, it will generate weekly playlists that will appear on Spotify for top funeral songs that week, which also could be a tool in your tool belt. You're welcome. Let's say we want to go ahead and start searching because we know what we want. So let's just say Louis Capaldi. Look at that. You can select as many songs as you want, obviously. And depending upon the faith community or the way in which we're going to celebrate the loved one, we'll determine that. I understand. You may have 15 deacons and a pastor and 6 family members go up and speak, and we'll get to that. That's all a part of this as well. But for now, let's keep selecting music. I don't know why I thought of that. Justin Bieber, Ghost. Cool. And last but not least, let's go to Fix You by Coldplay. You have 3 selected songs here. A really cool thing. If you like Fix You, you may also like Interesting. Those are my songs. Of course, my songs are streaming everywhere on all the platforms. It's interesting that it selected that. It's probably because I have been playing around with this. But you also see Mellow Strings, Marlon, Flynn, Bridgewater. They can listen to it and see if they like it. Maybe they don't. But again, it's constantly learning. You got your 3 songs now. We are now complete with step 1. let's go to build the service. Your selected songs. These songs are saved here. When you're ready, place them into any part of the service. You can do it one of two ways. Well, you can do it one way, which is what this whole thing is about. Ease of use. One of two ways is you can select the order of service as is, meaning these are the titles, the prelude, the opening song, the reflection song, the closing song, slideshow. That's in there because you and I both know some funeral homes will still walk up in the middle of the aisle, stand in the front of the congregation, press that button pointing to that 1997 projector, wait for the screen. It's in there. Well, let's say we don't want it. Simply remove it. You can hit the delete button and it's gone. Don't have to worry about it anymore. Make sense? Cool. You can even add a part of the service. Boom. It's back. These are for families to work around. Orders of service are super important and families need to feel a part of it. They're guided throughout this entire process. The prelude song. Maybe the note for this part would be like, start 5 minutes before the service time. That's cool. Now see where it says, add a song to this part. What song do I want? Well, here are your three options because the top left shows the selected songs from step 1. Let's say that we want Ghost by Justin Bieber. Perfect. Do you also see how it says add a song to this part still for the prelude? Interestingly enough, some people want 2 songs in a row. Well, we only have 3 songs. So I want to point that out because you can personalize it any way you want, funeral home and family. Let's move on to the opening song. The opening song for this begins when Pastor Jim walks up. Perfect. Now, again, the family can be filling that part out, or it could be left blank for you to fill out. The family don't necessarily have to add a note there because when we go to submit this order of service, the funeral home gets notified and then they're able to add to based upon the notes that they have prepared from whether it be the arrangement or Pastor Jim when they do end up getting in touch with him. Let's say the opening song, we want it to be Something in the Heavens by Louis Capaldi. Reflection. We don't want a song at the reflection. Maybe this is just silent moment. The closing song, well, there's only one option, and that is Coldplay. We have filled out the song's placement for this order of service. On the right side, you'll see additional notes and remarks. Sometimes families want people to get up and speak. And this is the part, funeral director, where you're kind of warned. You know that crazy Aunt Deborah who gets up and she's talking about all this cuckoo stuff? Well, you kind of know that she's not supposed to if she's not mentioned in this order of service. So that way, if she stands up, there's a way to, oh, Aunt Deborah. You're able to bob and weave a little bit better. I feel the order of service, Pastor Jim comes in the day of the funeral and 5 minutes before and he's sweating heavily and he wants to get with the family who he doesn't know. Well, I didn't know, Nathan, but you know those pastors. This helps that. There's accountability. It holds the pastors accountable. The families have an idea of the order of service and you aren't thrown any curveballs. These are all specific to a unique celebration of life and funeral. It's very customizable and not difficult to use. Let's go to the review. Review your order of service. The family are now saying, okay, is this right? Please take a moment to review the music and order of service selections below. Once you submit, your songs will be shared with your funeral director and locked to ensure everything is prepared in time for visitation. Prelude, opening song, reflection, closing song. You may scroll through each section to review the songs and notes that you've selected. If something needs to be changed, you can go back and edit before submitting. And then there's one more note. After submitting, this page is locked, so your funeral director can prepare everything. If changes are needed, please contact your funeral home directly. You, the person that's in charge of this, not Aunt Sally, Aunt Deborah, Cousin Ed. So much noise that the funeral director is setting themselves up for possible mistakes. Thank you. Your selections have been submitted. Your funeral music and order of service selections have been sent to your funeral director. They will take it from here and ensure everything is prepared with care. The funeral director then receives an email with the email address that they set up when they set up their account. I just want to point out on my phone, it says order of service submitted. Hello, Nathan Morris. The family of Nathan Morris has submitted their funeral music and order of service selections through Funeral Music Planner. Their selections are now finalized and ready for your review. Information such as when they submitted it and all of that. You can click the button to go straight to the case. Pretty amazing. Let's go back to the funeral music planner. Ready to print, which means also the family submitted it. Let's go to view. Here it is. At this point, arrangements had been arranged for scheduling of the visitation time. So let's go ahead and finish filling that out because that's what we need to do next. So when you go back to your calendar view, everyone knows, okay, I've got this upcoming service, March 10th, and here's going to be the order of service. Everyone is aware of it. And it's not just on some sticky note somewhere that gets lost in the paper file. You and I both know that that exists. Any mind-blowing scenario that's going to happen or could happen is going to happen. Funeral director, this is the part that's amazing. You are able to export the order of service. When you export it, it creates a PDF with your logo on it that can be given to the pastor, handed to the informant, handed to anyone who's participating in this celebration. And it's not your handwriting that looks like a kindergartner. It's not scratched out. It's not you last minute trying to type up something in Word. It's done for you automatically. You can print that as many copies as you need for however many participants there are in the service for the loved one. And the other cool thing is you can generate a verification QR code. Why would you need that, Nathan? Well, maybe you have support staff who are attending to other families, but they may want to be on the same page with what type of music. In the event there's a moment where the person who's doing the music has to run out, so the person that's stepping in for them, there's a QR code. Maybe they're nervous about it. They can scan that QR code that you just generated. It provides them just a list of the songs on their phone, secure. They can review, refer back to. Peace of mind, baby. After the service ends, that QR code no longer works. It's safety, and it prevents mistakes for future families that are going to be served. You're not scanning an incorrect barcode that's not assigned to this loved one. You print the orders of service. They're all personal and personalized for the funeral home. The family are so grateful. You can even put the paper copy in the file for later, but this also goes and archives all of your loved one's cases after the hour following the scheduled funeral service time. The loved one archives. They go into the archived cases and can be referred back to, because one day you and I both know when their spouse or sibling passes away, well, I want the same music that this loved one had. Okay, easily can pull it up. Calendar view is my favorite. You know good and well that on February 22nd, we have Poppy's funeral. This is Funeral Music Planner. I am very proud of what this platform offers the funeral profession. Funeral directors, when I tell you that I have created the solution from headaches, slamming your head against a wall, unorganization, disorganization, it's this Funeral Music Planner, created by a funeral professional and musician, someone who loves music and understands the importance of it and how integral and how beautiful music can be to assist in the grieving process. Funeral Music Planner was created for you. FuneralMusicPlanner.com. You can create your first 3 cases for free. Use it for your next 3 loved ones. And I assure you, the family will be singing your praises because you created the experience for them. And that's what they deserve. FuneralMusicPlanner.com. I'm linking it in the description. Create your first 3 cases for free. Be sure to subscribe so that you can be notified when I release content just like this. Let me know in the comments below when you use this. Let me know what you love about it. Let me know what you think could make it better. And I'll see you at the next video.